You probably remember that there was some controversy involving Zion Williamson earlier this summer. It was regarding his current girlfriend who he's having a baby with, and then another woman came out and said that she and Zion were together. Then the second woman made some threats to expose their relationship on social media, and frankly, the whole thing was just exhausting for the 5 seconds that I paid attention to it. But regardless of what's going on in Zion's personal life, this latest Zion Williamson news is showing that he is not letting it distract him from this upcoming NBA season. And he's doing that by getting into what looks like the best shape of his basketball career. So I'm going to show you these photos in today's video, and then I'm going to break them all down. First though, welcome to the Half Court Report YouTube channel. My name is Troy. Please do me a solid and like this video and subscribe to the channel. I talk about everything NBA on here, so I would love to have your support, and it really helps in growing this channel. So, I don't know what brand of protein shakes that Zion has been throwing down, but my man is looking jacked. Dude is doing more than just eating egg whites. Check this out. The photo on the left is from this past season where Zion missed the majority of the year with a hamstring injury, if memory serves. But let's be honest, there have been so many Zion injuries that it is hard to keep track of it all. And then the photo on the right, he's working out in some Pelicans gear and he is looking cut. On the left, yeah, sure, he's wearing a baggy shirt, but you can tell that his body doesn't have the definition you would expect a professional NBA player to have. His arms have more definition than I've ever seen them have. His neck and shoulders are looking pretty big, and then around the middle, I don't know if he's got a six-pack or not under that shirt, but it's not concerning like we've seen in past photos. And remember, Zion is always going to have a body that's more in line with Charles Barkley instead of Dwight Howard. That's just how he is, and that's okay. You just don't want him to get to the point where he's carrying so much weight that he loses his out-of-this-world athleticism, or be out of shape to the point where his already scary injury history becomes even more of a concern. I feel like we NBA fans have a really short-term memory sometimes, and I think we've forgotten just how dominant Williamson can be. When he's healthy, Zion borders on unstoppable. He's a freak of nature, 6'7", 285 pounds. He's a bulldozer who over the course of his career has averaged about 26 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and shooting over 60% from the field. Those numbers are bonkers. He even made the All-Star team in his second year when he was 20 years old. There's no debate about how talented Zion is. It's just always been about his injuries and his motivation to stay in top shape. So is it finally time to table those concerns? Because Zion looks more chiseled than ever, and perhaps he's ready to silence the critics once and for all. An in-shape, healthy, and focused behemoth like Zion Williamson would turn the NBA upside down. He and Brandon Ingram, another former All-Star, have only played 12 games together over the past 2 years. That's insane to me, 12 games. The Pelicans finished this past year at 42-40, and that was despite a mid-season 10-game losing streak. If you'll remember, toward the beginning of the year, they were at the top of the Western Conference. But when it was all said and done last year, they came up 1 win shy of an NBA playoff berth. Just imagine what could happen with an entire season of a healthy Zion Williamson. Add in the veteran play of CJ McCollum, defensive ace Herb Jones, Jonas Valanciunas, who I think is one of the most underrated big men in the NBA. CJ, Jones, Valanciunas, Zion, and Ingram is a fantastic starting five. Coming off the bench, you would have Trey Murphy III, who showed he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. Dyson Daniels was a top 10 pick a season ago and had an outstanding summer league. Larry Nance does the dirty work. Jordan Hawkins is an incoming rookie who is one of the best players in college basketball. And don't forget Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado, one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. I think this Pelicans team could legit compete for home court advantage in the playoffs. But it all comes down to this, and it seems like we say it every single year. It all hinges on Zion Williamson. I hate to say it, but I think this upcoming year might just be his last chance. The Pelicans were already reportedly questioning his love for the game, so much so that there were rumors that Zion was on the trade block. Of course, the Pelicans front office, they came out and say they definitely weren't trying to trade Zion, but don't think for a second that he's untouchable on this roster. I even did a video before the draft back in June where I begged the Pelicans to trade him to the Charlotte Hornets in a package involving the number 2 draft pick. In that video, I talked about how LaMelo and Zion would be one of the best duos in the NBA in Charlotte. And I think Scoot Henderson, who the Pelicans would have picked at number 2, would have thrived in New Orleans along with CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram. That's going to be a big NBA what if because Zion will be a New Orleans Pelican for at least a little while longer. And for me, I'm going to need to see a little more than a dude looking like Basketball Hulk before I believe he can be a reliable NBA player for the majority of the season. You got to remember, Zion has only played 114 games in 4 NBA seasons. That's not even 40%. And it's a real shame because a player like Zion in the NBA just makes the league better. That's what I think, but be sure to tell me in the comments what you guys think about these new Zion Williamson photos. Does he have you convinced that he's going to have a monster NBA season, or do you just see it as a situation where, yeah, it's a good pick with a nice camera angle, but he's still just one injury away from missing like 3 months? Since you've watched this far, be sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and click that subscribe button too so you never miss another NBA video. I cannot wait for the NBA season to start, so I've actually been watching lots of FIBA World Cup basketball games, and Jalen Brunson, who's on this team, who's the starting point guard for the Knicks, has been playing out of his mind. If Zion had the heart of this guy, then I think he'd be a multiple-time MVP. I actually did a whole video on Jalen Brunson and how I think he's making a superstar leap right in front of our eyes. Check it out.